Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background, and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy: How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is about the different vocabulary and ways of communicating of the four main MBTI personality types. I think that most of us have known that people communicate differently, and depending on their personality type, they have a certain preference of sharing ideas and also conversing with others. So if we look at the censor judgers, the theme of their lives is duty and tradition. So you'll see that these are the type of people who like to use proper etiquette, and they don't like vulgarity in terms of swearing, especially if they are in a work situation or any place that there is an audience that could overhear what is going on. The other thing also is that they like words like should, responsibility. They also like the word security because they're people who like things to be stable. They don't like risk. So when you communicate with them, it has to be according to the situation. So context is very important to them because, again, they like to offer a proper image to the community. So the opinions of others tend to be important to them because for them, family ties, being rooted, being part of a community is very important. So they want to appear respectable. So you'll see that people who are censor judgers tend to have this preference of proper vocabulary, speaking in terms of respect, especially again if it's towards an authority figure. When it comes to censor perceivers, the theme of their lives is movement and freedom. So they're more likely to be lenient when it comes to the type of vocabulary or words being used. So especially let's say if they're a masculine censor perceiver, they might have a tendency to swear. These are people who like to play with words because these are the actors, the entertainers, so they tend to be really witty and they don't mind sort of breaking the rule when it comes to how you talk to one another. And they're not fond of hierarchy, so they will speak to people as equals, even if they're the boss. So they're very much like sort of a horizontal, sort of flat type of structure when they communicate. And they are the type of people who like words like exploration, creativity, freedom. They like also the whole aspect of things that are different, some foreign, some like adventure. So they are the type of individual who don't have a long attention span. So things have to be interesting to hold their attention. So if you're talking to them, make sure that it's animated and fun and short. They don't like things that are drawn on because they usually cannot focus for that long. When it comes to intuitive thinkers, these are people who like to explore knowledge. So the theme of their lives is power and knowledge. So these are people who want to go deep into any type of subject, especially, their focus usually math and science. So these are individuals who want long conversations. So they might, watch a debate that lasts, 3-5 hours, and that's fine with them. They like a lot of details. They like also logical communication. So if you're using a word, you have to make sure that you really understand what it means within that context, because they might challenge you. Say, you know what, I've read that this, definition of this term is incorrect. So these are the type of people who like to be intellectually stimulated, they like to be challenged, and they like to learn as much as possible because for them, knowledge is power. When it comes to the intuitive feelers, these are people who tend to really like words like feeling and emotion and spirituality because the theme of their lives is meaning and spirituality. So these are people who are going to try to dive deeper into any things that appears, on the surface in a way. So if you give them a word or a situation, like they are going to read, okay, what it actually means, that this person, maybe feels a certain way or has a particular like insecurity or strength. So they are not about the appearance, but the essence of whatever they are facing. So when you approach an intuitive feeler, make sure that you come across as empathetic. So you use words that are kind, kind. They are put off by people who come across as hard-hearted, or people who come across as selfish. That usually doesn't work with intuitive feelers. Again, when it comes to the four main personality types, they have preferences for particular vocabulary, even subject matter and depth. So I think it's important to know these so that when you converse with them, you're more likely to have a captive audience. So I trust that this information was helpful. Maybe you learned something. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.